Hey everyone, welcome back. So today is the long-awaited release of The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves, starring Robert Pattinson. So, I just have a lot I want to talk about this movie. So I'm going to be dividing this up into three sections. It's going to be the intro, or rather four sections. It's going to be the intro, the non-spoiler review section, and the spoiler review section, as well as a little bit of an epilogue to wrap it all up. So let's start with the introduction. So this movie is a bit different from all the other Batman movies we've seen recently, and it's a long one. It's nearly 3 hours long. I believe it's 4 minutes shy, sitting at about 2 hours and 56 minutes. Um, and also stars Zoe Kravitz and um, oh man, there are a lot of really good actors in this movie. But man, I'm just gonna go ahead and get right on into the regular review. Not much of an introduction, but I just want to talk about this movie. So this movie is what I want with superhero movies, because this movie takes a well-known superhero like Batman and gives him a more interesting story. Not to say that other Batman movies aren't interesting, but this one is just different from all the others. It's not like a big boom, boom, zap, zap, boom, wow, pow kind of movie. It is a methodical and clear cut noir psychological thriller. It's a detective story through and through. And that's what I appreciate about it. I love it whenever superhero movies decide to step outside of the genre of just action and give a bit of a different look see into a different genre. Like, for example, Captain America the Winter Soldier with like conspiracy, espionage kind of movies, and Joker, which was a bit more of a character piece, psychological study kind of movie. I would love to see more of those movies. I really do, because I love seeing creators get down and dirty with these movies. It makes them a bit more interesting to me. I had a lot of fun watching this movie. Um, so let's talk about the obvious. Robert Pattinson, he's phenomenal in this movie. Like, honestly, I didn't have much doubt that he'd be good. Like, I know the reputation of The Lighthouse. I've seen clips from The Lighthouse. I haven't watched it yet, but I've seen clips from The Lighthouse. And Robert Pattinson is fantastic in that movie. I've also seen all five of the Twilight movies, and I've seen some of the interviews with Mr. Pattinson from those movies. And let me just say, I should just make my own Twilight videos. I should just make my own Twilight videos, monetize that suffering. That's gonna be fun. It's gonna be its own thing. And I feel like with both, really a majority of the actors working on Twilight, they shouldn't be held down to Twilight, because we have very clear cut evidence that they're good actors and they're a lot better than just the one movie that they're known for. Like, for example, you have Kristen Stewart and Spencer. I thought she was fantastic. Like, that was a really enjoyable movie, and she was very convincing as Princess Diana. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Robert Pattinson. And let me just say, he is the perfect casting for this role. This specific Batman perfectly fits Robert Pattinson. And throughout the entire movie, I never once didn't buy. That's double negative, but you get what I mean. I always believed that he was playing the role of Gotham's own little vengeance. Um, so let's talk about something very important to this movie, which is the thriller, the mystery of it, which is akin to like Seven, where it's more of a serial killer and we got to figure out who's doing it and put a stop to it. That's what this movie is. It is a procedural. It is neo noir. It is a new age noir flick, and I just think that's so cool. We don't get enough of these kind of movies nowadays, and it makes me sad. I really do like seeing these movies push the boundaries of what is like box office success. I totally see this movie being box office success. Um, there's so many things I want to talk about, but it's so hard to not say spoiler stuff. So if I ever get into spoiler territory, then you'll know you're in the spoiler section. Don't worry, I'll let you know. Um, so what do I gotta say about the Riddler, who's our main antagonist of this movie? I honestly had no expectations going into this movie about the Riddler. All I know is that he's asking riddles. He's asking riddles that like the Sphinx would in like mythologies and such. So that's something. It's a bit different. This is probably the best PG-13 movie I've seen recently because it strongly pushes the envelope of what is acceptable in a PG-13 movie. And I just found that to be so cool. Oh. Man, I just... forget it. I'm just going to go straight into the spoiler section. So from here on, it's the spoiler section until I get to the end. This is actually... Sorry, hold on, one thing. This is going to be the review where I start actually giving a score. And you'll see why when I get to the end, because this movie deserves a score. I'm going to start doing scores here, so that'll be something new going forward. All right, spoiler section time right now. So, hey, so you've seen the movie. You know what there is to love about this movie. Yeah. I just want to go ahead and say that my favorite shot of this entire movie is in the trailer. One of my biggest issues with this movie is actually its trailers, because there are a lot of really good reveals that happen in this movie that are in the trailer. Why were they in the trailer? They would have been great reveals to just have in the movie, and that bothered me. I just wanted it to be in the movie. Like, for example, when we had Batman solving the riddle of, justice. That entire sequence, I really liked that. That would have been better if it was just in the movie. Same thing for when the Riddler is saying Batman's name, Bruce Wayne. That would have been better in the movie, because it would showcase that the Riddler has always been one step above Batman this entire time. Batman has been doing his detective work throughout this entire movie, but he still doesn't know who the Riddler is. But the Riddler knows who he is, and that shows that he's 2 steps ahead of Batman. And that would have been such a shocking and great reveal to just have kept in the movie and not in the trailers. I don't know, I'm just sick and tired of trailers nowadays, man. Like, they really should get better at doing them. Hire me. I'll learn how to do a trailer, and we won't be having these issues. But besides the point, let's talk about the biggest detail of this movie, and that's Selena Kyle. Zoe Kravitz. I love the design that they gave her. I love how she looks similar to that of like Halle Berry's Catwoman. However, she's not the character of Halle Berry's Catwoman. We actually have more Catwoman that we want from the comics, a more interesting take on Catwoman than, well, just, you know what I mean. If you've seen Catwoman, you know what I mean. No slight against Miss Halle Berry. She does a great job in a lot of movies, but that one just wasn't it. Man, I can't believe I'm actually saying this because I'm so tired of superhero movies. But this is the movie that just kind of more or less reignites my love for superhero movies, because it does something different. It steps outside the box. And I said that before in the non-spoiler review, but this is a lot. This movie has a lot of content in it, and I'm trying my best to keep it all in this little review right here. Um, but I think the biggest takeaway here is that the on-screen chemistry between Pattinson and Kravitz is just fantastic. Like, they nail it. They really do. There's a lot to love about this movie. I think my biggest criticism is that there are a few moments that pressed a bit too long in a scene. Like, for example, there's a bit where Bruce, not Batman, Bruce, goes to meet with Falcone. And in that moment, I was just kind of thinking, you know, this could have been cut back a little bit. Not, done away with, but it could have been cut back a little bit. It's the only scene that I found myself losing a bit of interest in the movie. And the rest of the time, it just didn't feel like 3 hours. It really didn't. And that's a good thing. Because when you have a movie that's 3 hours long, you want your viewers to not feel that time. And this movie does a great job in not feeling its time. To me, personally. I've talked with other people and they've felt differently, how they seem to get a little bored, feel the runtime, want to turn their phone back on. And I understand that, but for me, this movie is exactly what I've been wanting from more superhero movies. And I'm hoping that this will be like the push that we get to have more of this type. It's just very entertaining through and through. And so actually, I never even said what my favorite clip from this movie is. My favorite scene is at the end of the movie when Batman is helping get people out from the backstage area as it's flooding, and he's leading them through the water with the flare being the thing that lights their way. I love that shot. The overhead shot, it's so pretty. This movie is gorgeous to look at. Through and through, just eye candy. Visual eye candy. And I cannot stress this enough. I love this movie. I will probably be buying it on Blu-ray the second that it comes out. Maybe actually spending the money to get it in 4K. I don't even have something to play on 4K. I just like those boxes. They're so cool. You probably heard me say that phrase a lot in this video, and I am so sorry. But, epilogue. So, those are my thoughts on this movie. I thought that they did a pretty good job in bringing it all together. It was very enjoyable. I felt like its runtime was not an issue, which I would have with movies of this length. But I did not have an issue with it. The acting is great. And the directing, stellar. Just unbelievably great filmmaking here. If you had reservations about seeing this because a whole bunch of DC movies recently haven't been that great, please go watch this. It is probably my favorite performance from Pattinson that I've watched the full thing of. Again, I haven't watched all of The Lighthouse, but please go watch this movie. And if you're looking forward to watching this movie, I really hope you didn't watch the spoiler section of the review. So that being said, I'm going to be ranking this movie an immediate buy. So let me introduce my ranking system. I'm going to have 3 styles here. I'm going to have immediate buy, which means the second that it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray, I will immediately purchase it. No questions asked, no stopping at go, no collecting $200. In fact, I'm losing money because I love the movie that much that I want to buy it upon release. Second tier is $5 Tuesdays, or it's $6 now, so $6 Tuesdays. It was enjoyable, but I wouldn't personally recommend it for everybody. And then the last one is maybe on streaming. I have opinions on streaming, so this is kind of an insult. I would say that these kind of movies in the wait for streaming section is probably just going to be like, it's okay. I wouldn't really say go watch it in theaters. Maybe watch it on streaming if it ever gets there. But yeah, that's going to be my new ranking system. So The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson. this is an immediate buy. I'm going to get this the second it comes out. Might even pre-order it because it's worth it. So, if you're still here, why don't you subscribe? Like, make sure to like, comment, subscribe this video, share it with your friends, family, coworkers. I don't care. Just get it out there. Please spread it like a... We're not going to say that, actually. Spread it like a bed sheet. Just get it all four corners. Let everybody know. Go watch The Batman. Go watch it in theaters. If you don't feel comfortable watching it in theaters, then you're probably going to have to wait for it to come out on streaming or when it comes out on Blu-ray DVD or at Redbox or whatever. Do what makes you feel comfortable. But if you are willing to go see it in theaters, please, I cannot stress this enough. It was fantastic. All right, so that's going to be the end of this review. Wow, what a movie. Anyways, as per always, have a great day. Bye.